Easy now.
Easy now.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, buddy. Not too bad. Have we given up on Patrick with this podcast?
Yeah, he's not on this one because the last one, if those of you tuned in, he was doing really, really well and then kind of froze with this gormless mouth open expression that we had to then look at for about half an hour. So we decided just not to invite him in on this one.
Internet's just so unreliable. I mean, I know it was me, 6 months ago, a year ago. Then it was you a little bit. And
Yeah.
now it's Pat. And Pat lives in London. So
All right.
it's just
I know.
crazy. But anyway, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, but everyone, welcome back to the Drive Talk podcast powered by Michelin. We're virtual again this week. We are desperate to get a face-to-face. I know we were together at Box and Gas just a couple of weeks ago, but our diaries at the moment are really silly. And mine's silly actually because I've got a combination of doing lots of worky things, but also just trying to have a few days off with our other halves. And I know that you're technically meant to be having some time at home with Lou today, so I won't keep you very long. because I have to look after my marriage because I'm married. You're not quite married yet, but you will be soon. So you
Yes,
need to kind of do your forward planning.
exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Well, then the thing that really upset me, I'm starting to get these little triggers every now and again that make me realise I'm getting old. And one of them the other week was we were chatting with some friends, and they went, "Oh, it's your silver wedding this year, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's my 25th wedding anniversary, but silver wedding just makes it sound really old. Your
I don't even
parents
know.
have silver weddings."
I don't even know what that means. But yeah, is that
25,
25
it's a
years?
25, it's 25 years. Silver wedding's 25 years. I think golden wedding's 50 years. Then it goes
Wow.
platinum is 70, I think. I don't know. The first year is like paper or something, and then it kind of steps up through things that are worth a bit more. But yeah, silver wedding for me this year, 25 years. So that's like super scary. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but anyway. This one, hopefully you all tuned in last episode and we gave you some great examples of PCP deals where we looked at budgets of 250, 500 and 750 pounds a month. And I think we found some absolute bangers, some really good
Yep.
cars. And I think, hopefully you've recovered now because you actually chose an electric car or two, which was impressive.
One.
One. But you agreed with my second one, and that was an electric
Yes.
car. So this episode, we're gonna now, and you got to tell us what Lou said when you were talking to her about the title of this podcast, because we've done quite a few podcasts over the last year or so about or mentioning in them about horribly depreciating cars. In fact, we did one just a couple of episodes ago because they are eye-watering, quite funny, unless you're the person who's bought that car. And also, at the moment, there's plenty of ammunition to go after, right? Because there's lots of cars that hemorrhage money.
Yep.
This
And people love. I think people. I think the problem is as well, and I think I'm not pointing the finger at anyone because I'm just as guilty as anyone else. But we do all love misery, don't we? And I'm a bit of a
Yeah.
cynical old man these days, but anything that's a bit miserable, whether it's depreciating cars or it's always like, oh, how much have they lost, or how much has that car lost? So yeah. But anyway, so this time, sorry, Ben.
Yeah, no, and but it is though, and especially, I mean, you've got to say the Auto Trader price tracker
Oh,
plugin that you can put on your Google Chrome browser is just the best thing ever because you
yeah.
can just see literally how because it is normally for the vast majority of cars. Let's face it, all cars the second you roll them off the forecourt are going to lose some money. So it's a case of how much money they lose. But in this episode, we thought we'd try and find or talk about cars that depreciated the least.
Yep.
Some positive news.
I know we're given 10 years, but
Yeah.
none of mine are exactly 10 years. They're around.
I've flown a bit fast and loose with the brief, if I'm honest.
That's unlike you, Ben.
I found this one quite hard, actually, but yeah. So that's the subject for today. But we do want to have a chat about a couple of things before we get to that point, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah, 100%. Maybe let's talk about, as we're sponsored by Michelin, should we talk about tyres and maybe the fact that you managed to get a lot of punctures? And I don't want to tempt fate here, but you've had a lot of punctures over the last couple of years, but there's a good reason
Yeah.
for that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had that back when I worked with Hendy. I had that Astra electric. I had 3 punctures in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But so two things, and this is me racing driver excuses. We obviously built the garage that I'm sat in now about a year ago, and whenever you've got a building works or trades around, no matter how careful the builders are, you will find that nails and screws and stuff get dropped. And we've got shingly gravel outside, so the nails and screws kind of instantly disappear into the gravel. And then Tracy has been working on a project at Goodwood for the last year, which has basically been a building site. And then also, actually, when she's working around Revival or around Festival of Speed or members meetings, she's often on site and they're building sites and there's nails and stuff. So we do get a disproportionate amount of punctures. But yes, I have had a puncture on the little Mini. Very annoyingly, I've had it for about 5 weeks, maybe. A real slow one. So I've been having to kind of top up the pressure every 2 or 3 days because I just haven't been asked or haven't had the time to go and get it sorted. But
yeah,
I eventually did go and get it sorted. But it kind of made us think, why don't we have a chat about punctures and puncture repair? Because I don't know about you, but I'll on forums and Facebook groups, and sometimes I'll get DM'd questions about punctures. And the normal one is someone will bitch and moan because they saw a picture of a photograph of a tire, and there'll be like a screw or a nail, and it'll be in like the sidewall, and they'll moan that they had to buy a new tire. And so we thought we'd chat about tires and the repair of those tires from a kind of Michelin standpoint, really, because I think a lot of people will probably find it quite surprising.
yep, definitely.
Um,
Yeah, I know. I was when I first heard the official line from James
yeah,
about, yeah, about the fact that, well, essentially they encourage us, not just us, you and I, they encourage their customers to repair punctures,
yeah,
repair the tire as opposed to going out and buying a new tire.
yep,
There's lots of, there's lots of do's and don'ts around that, but the bottom line is they're encouraging that, and I love that sort of black and white, brands, the world, we all love this sustainability label, and everyone pretends to be saving the planet in most cases, but there's nothing more real than something like preserving a tire that is still good and has lots of life in it, and
yeah,
fixing it and using it rather than just
yeah,
replacing the entire thing.
exactly. I think I came across it last year because I had a puncture in the Boxster, and it was only about 2 weeks before I was due to go on a drive tour to Spain, and the car had gone into Porsche Portsmouth for its MOT, and I just wanted them to give the car a check over. And they rang me and said, "Oh, you've got a puncture in your rear tire. We're going to have to replace the tire." And I said, "Well, where's the puncture?" And they said, "Well, it was literally right in the middle of the tire." I said, "Well, repair it." "No, no, no, you can't. It's a performance car. You've got to replace the tire." And they failed the MOT. It was an advisory on the MOT, and they said, "You need to replace the tire." And I rang up James and I kind of said, "Look, can I get a new tire?" Or actually, I was going to get two tires because you generally should, unless it's quite a new tire, you want to replace them in pairs. And this was
Yeah,
like halfway through its life, probably 5 mil worth of tread, maybe a bit less. Um, and James said, "Well, repair the tire." And I said, "Well, okay, but it's a performance car. And also on the drive tour I'm going to be going on, we've got a track day. It's only a half a day on track, but surely I should get a new tire for that." And again, the reply was, as long as it's a professionally done repair to the right standards, a repair is as good as a new tire.
yeah,
And I took the tire. I got Porsche to leave it. It was a nail in the tread pattern, and they hadn't removed it. And I took it to my local tire centre. And actually, in that case, when they took the nail out, it was a screw head. When they took the screw head out, it wasn't actually deep enough to go through the tread block into the tire. So it wasn't causing the tire to deflate. It was just the head of a screw in the tread box. It didn't actually need fixing anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but I just found it really interesting that, you would assume, and a lot of people out there probably do assume, that if you get a puncture, maybe in the more high performance car market, that you have to replace the tire, and that isn't the case, unless the puncture site is within a certain distance of the edge of the tire. So it's generally, if it's in the middle. I can't remember. I should have done some research how far away from the edge of the tire it has to be. But if it's too close to the sidewall, or if it's damaging the sidewall, that is not repairable, and you will need to have a new tire.
Yeah,
But
and if
Michelin's,
you and also if you've driven on the tire with it completely flat, obviously
oh
you
yes,
destroy the
yeah,
carcass and all the rest of
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Because when you take it out, I remember being at Diva where I used to take my tires, and I'd had a puncture, and I had, it was Tracy had the puncture, and she'd driven a little bit, and then when we took the tire off, it was just full of like black dust, little balls, and that was the sidewall of the tire that had just basically
Oh,
on the inside. I was like, oh no, that's shot.
yeah,
So I had that on the Mini last week, and it was just a screw, right in the middle of the tire, right in the middle of a tread block as well, and it was a fix and on our way, and that was all good. It's a
brilliant.
bit like the minimum tread depth thing as well. Again, the line from Michelin on minimum tread depth, and this is way back my first ever press event. It's like 8-9 years ago. I went and did a thing at the big Michelin at Ledoux, the big test facility the Michelin have in France. And that was all about running tyres down to the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 mil. When lots of tyre resellers and manufacturers will say that you have to change the tyres at 3 mil. And Michelin's argument is, for a premium tyre, for their tyres, they are designed to operate within spec down to 1.6 mil in both
Yep.
dry and wet weather conditions. And just that extra 1.4 mil is a good, I don't know, couple of thousand miles worth of driving, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
As long as you've got your tires, all your wheels properly aligned and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
It's yeah, and again, that's another real case scenario, black and white, of being more sustainable, using that
yeah,
tire for
yeah,
longer. But like you said, putting it into practice, it's like when I went out to Sweden a couple of years ago with Michelin, and they were talking about, the fact that they're really focusing on that. They continue to focus on that. Talking to our good friend Jonathan Benson, that
mm,
does loads of tire testing, and he's always banged on at me about how much Michelin test their worn tires. Like they test worn tires all the time, just alongside the new version of the tire, because they want to make sure that, especially something like, let's say, a cross climate tire or winter
mm,
tire, once they wear down in your head, you're like, well, they're going to become useless. But even with that sort of tire, they make sure that when they're down towards their 1.6 mil, they're still performing at like 80-90%. um but then, yeah, I guess that the problem is, and that we all face, is you take it into a main dealer, or even a tire dealer. They make money from selling tires, don't they?
yeah,
So then you've got
yeah,
that
yeah,
conflict of interest where they want to
yeah,
sell you tires, of course they do, and the line's always been, oh well, it's under 3.5 mil or 4 mil, you should consider changing your tires. So it's always that. But I think making people aware that actually your Michelin tires are good until 2 mil. I don't suggest going down to 1.6, because
no,
at 1.6 you then go down to 1.5, and suddenly your tires are, in the law, they're illegal, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
there's,
No, no, I
you
agree.
don't. But it's interesting.
But when you see, I mean, that trip I went on, we did wet weather and dry weather tests with a worn premium tire, a Michelin, and a brand new budget tire, and the worn premium tire outperformed the brand new budget tire
Yeah.
in wet and dry weather braking. And I remember the most scary one. We did wet weather brake test with a worn budget tire.
Oh.
So there was like, the car came up, it was only doing like 30, 40 miles an hour, came up to a line to start braking, and the braking zone was wet. And this car just went off the end. It didn't stop at all. It was
Wow.
super scary. And think, wow. Because I'll see on forums, when I had the puncture done, there was a car in there, and it was a nice Audi A5, looked like a nice spec one. It was a few years old. It was maybe 4 or 5 year old car, but it was a 2 litre diesel S5, A5 rather, and it had, I can't even remember the name of the tires, like Yin Yang Wing Wongs or something. They were just looked like they bought them out of got them out of a cracker. They were just awful. And he just like, what in the world possesses someone? You're only connected to the road by 4 bits of rubber, and that contact patch is probably the size of a credit card, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So, and someone will go, "Oh, yeah, but it's only the wife driving that car. It doesn't matter. She's not gonna drive it hard." Yeah, but she's probably got the
Yeah.
kids in the back taking them to school.
Yeah.
Buy decent tires, people. Anyway,
Yeah. Or
so yeah,
or the big mentality with that is a lot of the time it's a Range Rover or something like a used X5, a really used X5, but maybe that Audi A5 was Quattro. So in their head they're like, well, I've got Quattro all-wheel drive, so I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
need good tires. It's like
yeah. It
that's
was
like
quite
giving a
actually.
yeah, well, it's like giving a really good football player on a muddy pitch a set of ballerina shoes. Like that really good football player can't play football in the mud with ballerina shoes on. Like even though they're very talented, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
It's
don't.
just mad.
I mean, I I sent you the photograph. I was at a car meet last week, and someone turned up in a Corvette, right? Yeah, very
On
high performance
slicks,
Corvette,
on slicks.
Cup twos all round, and they you could not see the tread pattern on them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you just look at them and you go, "What are you thinking?" For a
yeah,
start, it's 3 points per tire if you get
yeah,
stopped, and they're illegal. 3 points, so that's instantly he's lost his license if
yeah,
he got stopped on the way home. If there's a I don't know, a little bit of rain on the way home or hits a bit of low traction surface, you're absolutely stuffed. I don't
yeah.
understand the mentality of some people.
No,
Anyway, enough preaching. But my
yeah,
puncture's fixed, so I don't have to keep topping the air up every couple of days.
great,
And at the moment, because
fantastic.
Tracy's using the Mini a lot at the moment, so in the morning I'm like, oh, hold on, I need to go and put some more air in the tyre. I'll get it fixed this week, I promise, but it's sorted now, so it's all
Okay.
good. If only you could over-the-air update the tyre
Oh
pressure
no,
on your car.
here we go. Your
Segway
seg.
man.
Oh my god. You get hashtag Segway Club. What is it?
Yeah.
Crayon Crew.
No, Crayon Crew. Yeah.
Segway Crew.
Yeah, yeah. Woo! so, so the reason for that segue is a thing we've spotted in the press. I don't know where did we see it. I don't know where it
I
was. It was
didn't.
an article.
Did
It
you
was
find it
Pat,
or
I think.
Patrick?
No, it was
Yeah.
Pat. So apparently, and I mean, I know BMW had a bit in the press. Was it 12 months, 18 months ago, where they were
Oh, good.
starting to?
A few
It was
years.
the
Yeah.
heated seats or something you had to pay for. I can't
Yeah.
remember
4
what
or
it was
5
now.
years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So VW with their new ID3 Pro, which is kind of like their hot hatch electric little mini thing,
Yep.
are unlocking an extra 27 bhp in performance on the car through a paywall.
Yeah.
So if you want another 27 horsepower on your car, you've got to pay £16.50 a month, and they will unlock that through a paywall. And I wondered
Wow.
what your thoughts were on that one.
I mean, I guess that's it just shows, doesn't it? These electric cars. Well, we already know, like you said, BMW have done it. A lot of modern cars, electric or combustion engine or hybrids or whatever, as we know, they're stuffed full of electronics.
Yep.
And to cut costs, a lot of these manufacturers these days, with like let's use heated seats, because you said that earlier on. A lot of these cars have already got the elements and everything, all the infrastructure for those heated seats in the car, but all they're missing is like the button, or not even a button because it's touchscreen. All they're missing is the software to allow you to
Yep.
turn the seats on. So then, of course, with electric cars, well, you're then just extending that technology or that know-how into, oh, what if the motor's able to give you some more power, which in a lot of cases they are, right? Because
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
a motor that's shared across the Volkswagen platform, and in the bigger ID7, it might be producing 500 horsepower, 300. So, so it doesn't surprise me. I think it's very cheeky, but I don't know. On one hand, if it means that the entry level car is cheaper for the average punter that just wants to buy it and use it as a daily, and it makes that car a bit cheaper, then great. And then if it's a youngster that's coming in, like if you or I were born today and we could only buy an electric, well, not born today, we were 17, 18-year-old today, and we're about to go out and buy an ID3, and there was only electric cars available, so even I had to go and buy an electric car. The thought of, oh, having an extra nearly 30 horsepower for a bit, that would have excited me, because it would be the
Mm.
same as you and I in our time, like, doing a little tune or putting exhaust on your car
Yeah.
or something. So it doesn't surprise me. Do we know prices or what they wanted to charge
It
for
was
that?
16.50 a month.
16. See, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
I,
it's
I
it's not it's not that different. Tesla have been doing this for years, right? So
yeah,
Teslas, they're all built with all the functionality, autopilot, and all those cool things in there, and then
yeah,
you can just have them activated over the air. So you can pay
yeah,
Tesla, and they'll activate that feature over the air. And
yeah,
and in a way, you touched on a point, and it goes back to, I mean, I did my degree a very, very long time ago, back in the days, before the internet and student loans. But when I did a degree in manufacturing, and we actually did a case study on Ford at the time. And it was when the Ford range, this is going to date it, when they were like L, GL, GLS, gear, right? They were the
yes,
different,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
different,
yeah,
right? You remember those?
yeah, yeah.
And we worked out that if Ford made it was an Escort, I think we did it on, made every Ford Escort at gear trim, so the highest spec trim, but every single car was the same,
Mhm.
because the manufacturing process would be standardized, because it's the customization of every different car that costs the money,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they would make the cars at a cheaper per unit rate, and they would be able to sell them cheaper than the L trim,
Wow.
because the cost
Okay.
of manufacturing would go down. So I kind of get it. I would assume, and let's say the thing about the motor, if you just use one motor, you only have to strike a deal with one motor for the supply chain. It goes in every car, and then you
Yeah,
just activate its power capabilities in software. And software, once it's written, is free. So I kind of get it
yeah,
completely. The bigger question, though, is if that's a trend that we start to see, what does that mean for tuning? And I know this is an electric car thing, and I know some people aren't interested in modifying and tuning at all, but we are, and we've done lots of stuff over the past with various cars where you have a stage one or a stage two tune, or you go to someone like a Motec or a Mulgari Mini or whoever that might be, and you get them to, or Litchfield, there's loads of companies that do it,
yeah,
and they increase the performance of the car. The challenge with EVs, I can see everything's just going to be locked down behind a software firewall that you can't change because it's proprietary software and it'll be
yeah,
encrypted. And the only way you're going to get performance updates is by things like this.
yeah.
And I can almost see, spring forward 10, 15 years, 20 years, when the kids of today are buying their first car, that they won't be able to do the things we've done, because the only way you'll be able to do it is go to a brand and pay money for
Yeah.
it.
And
How
another,
depressing.
it is depressing. Although I really hope and believe that in 10 or 15 years' time, we will be back building combustion engine cars. That's what I hope for the next generation. But that's just my own thoughts. Um, but the other question is, if you're upgrading your car an extra 30 horsepower, then surely your insurance needs to know that.
Mm,
Like, what happens
100%.
there? Do you ring up your insurance, go
100%.
on, next month I'm adding 27 horsepower to my car? Can you imagine? They'll be like, what? Yeah, but then not the month after that. Yeah, September 27, and then through the winter months, I don't need that extra 27 horsepower, so I'm not going to subscribe. Can I have a quote on that? I mean, it's just mad. That's going to cause a
It,
lot of,
it, it is, but you're right. If you change the car, and
yeah,
my advice to people working with an insurance company, as I do, it's super simple advice. You do anything to your car, anything, tell your insurance company. The
yeah,
least they can do is go, "We didn't need to know that, but thanks for letting us know."
yeah,
It's much better than not telling them, and then you having an incident, and them going, "Hold on a minute. Loss adjusters just looked at your car, and you've just upgraded to the extra 27 horsepower on VW. Your car's not insured."
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
let us
yeah,
know in the comments below what you think of that, because I know the subscription service in general is a hated thing.
Yeah.
But there are two sides to it. And like I said, if it means that the base car is cheaper for the majority of people, then that's kind of a positive thing. And it's a, it's a
No,
it's a it's a
it's
weird
no
thing.
different to buying some more cloud storage for your iPhone, is it? Really,
No,
in a way.
no, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe that's stretching the analogy a little bit, but you know what I'm going with.
It's about the same price these days.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
if your car hasn't lost money, then you're not so worried about spending that amount of money.
Oh
So what
my
you want to do
God.
is buy a car that's going to depreciate the least.
I need a big sign.
Segway man.
Segway.
I'm basically what it is. I'm trying to get a sponsorship by Segway. I'd
Oh,
like them
okay.
to yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Channel partner.
we thought it's channel partner. Yeah, exactly. So we thought we'd chat about least depreciating cars. I don't know where to start with this. I guess there are well-known examples of low-run cars, normally at the high end of, and I guess examples for me would be from Porsche, something like a 911 ST. Right, we all
Yeah.
know if you're lucky enough to get a build slot for one of them, they're going to go up in value by a truckload. You'll sell them for above list for I don't know 12 months or so. So
Yep.
we kind of know about those or have heard about them, but can you predict when they're going to happen? Or are there examples of more normal cars where they just hold their money well? And I'd love to know why it is that they do that.
Yeah. And on average, according to AI, a
Oh, you've not
Ford.
asked ChatGPT this, have you?
Well, I just put it in Google. When you search and then it just comes
Yeah.
up with an AI answer. But a 4-year-old car in the UK, on average, loses between 40 and 60% of its value. A 3-year-old
Wow.
car is just under 50. So
Yeah.
so let's just say in 3 years, a typical car in the UK would lose about 50% of its value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, unless it's a lot. There's some the examples that we're going to look at today which hopefully don't lose that much, and then there's examples like the majority of electric cars out there that do lose more money than your average combustion engine. But what who's going to start with this one then, Ped?
Well, I'm gonna share this report with you,
Okay.
and then we can kind of chat about it. And I've looked at so one of the things I found with this is when you're looking at trying to find a used car, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, is understanding what that car was new in terms of
Mm,
price is
yeah.
quite tricky because you can go and have a look, but if you go on a configurator, then the price you're going to get is today's price, not the price it was 3 years ago. So it
you
is a
can
bit
you
tricky.
You can Google again. If you Google it, it'll give you. That's what I've done with all mine. You can just
Cool.
Google how much was this car in whatever, and then it'll say in
Yeah.
this. Um, have you
So
put something in? Oh, here we go.
no, I've just put it in that. So this is a report from a finance company
Yeah.
about the
Oh
10
wait, but this
least.
this gives away all the answers.
No, but we don't have to. I know we're not going to say now. That's just there for your reference. We don't have to
Okay.
share it with our
Oh.
listeners just yet.
Oh.
Oh. So based on that, I'm going to go first. I
Yep.
am going to go with a car that I have driven. I went out to the launch in Morocco for it last year. A brilliant car,
Yep.
and that is the new Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh.
Okay, and I've let me just put these two in here. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I think this car depreciates the least, and I know we said 3, 4, or 5 years, and they've only
No,
been
we
out a
no no
year.
we didn't we didn't we said 10 years. It said
Oh well,
so all mine are basically 10 years old. But
oh,
anyway.
that's fine. We're flying fast and loose with the brief here. That's what I do all the time, right? Um,
Oh.
well, all right.
No,
I
no.
found this one really hard, but anyway.
Only because when we were discussing this, I said let's work with some newer cars, and then the
Yeah.
general conversation was no, let's go 10-year-old.
All right.
So
Okay.
so
Well, let's use this as an example of one of the factors that leads to cars holding their money.
yep.
Right. So I've put two links in that we can kind of share as we're chatting away. One is Auto Trader looking at cars for sale new ones that are um, relatively new, and the other one is
Yep.
the Toyota Configurator.
Okay.
Because if you want to build a Land Cruiser, I oh is that I so I put one together and oh no, it's reset the configurator on the link I've sent you. Oh man, no, I got it to like about 78,000 quid, right?
Okay.
For what was the spec in? It was the basically um there's not a great deal to you can choose the engine obviously, but the
Yeah.
wheels and color and stuff. But if you look on Auto Trader, then they're up in the kind of like 90 grand, 85 to 90 grand. A lot of
Yep.
them have, if you know, on the price tracker, there's quite a few of them have gone up in price.
Yep.
And the reason for that, one, they're a really good car, but two, they were only brought to the UK in really small numbers. I think it was something ridiculous like a Toyota dealer only got two allocated to it.
Wow.
So they're rare, and that means that initial depreciation. So we can cover this off in terms of it's the same, I guess, for something like a Porsche product or one of the Ferraris or something where you have to buy a number of cars to get a build slot.
Yep.
And the GR Yaris to some extent is the same because the supply is so minimal. The prices hold. The new Range Rover was the same. I know we joked about Tom Howard having a Range Rover. When he got that, before it was delivered, he'd been offered tens of thousands of pounds more just to
Yep.
sell it on because that initial first 12 months, when cars are scarce to get hold of, there are people out there with money who just want the latest shiny thing.
Mm.
So the least so this is me justifying my choice, by the way. In that
Yeah.
first year to 2 years, if you've got a car that has really good reviews, like the new Land Cruiser, because it's a brilliant bit of kit,
Yeah.
isn't available in big numbers, and everybody wants one, supply and demand will mean that basically they hold their money or they go up in value. And that's where you start to get this. And I've still never got my head around someone who would pay over list for a car,
Yeah.
but people do.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting car. It's something I don't even really think about. Because you just don't see them out and about because they're so, like you said, low numbers.
Yeah.
Um, and they obviously, like you said, clearly hold their value, have gone up in value. But I think advising someone, I mean, this particular example is good, but I think if you're working off that as a new model, it does. Like look at M3 Touring. The first few months that was out, people were asking massive overs, and
Yeah.
then the market was flooded, and they all just
Yeah.
disappeared. And looking on here,
Well,
there's probably
that links nicely into what you said. So you could, if you were in that kind of space and you did pay overs, and then the market crashed because they suddenly bought loads in, you're in a big world of hurts, right?
yeah. Well, and I think even looking at some of these examples on here, like there's a 25 plate one that's been up, and it's already dropped 11% since April. So they originally
Yeah.
advertised it, and that to me looks like, and it's only done 800 miles. So it looks to me like someone's bought that, speculated, thought, "Oh, I'm going to flip it for a little bit of extra money," and they're still
Yeah.
stuck with it. So I think
Yeah.
it's always a risk. But either way, I think any of these would sell. You could sell them at list every day of the week if you're saying they're nicely built ones, 80 grand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting car, and it's one that, yeah, like I said, I know nothing about, but you've driven, and I do appreciate and respect Land Cruiser. It's always been such a legendary battle bus.
It is, but it's funny. It's not. It is outside of the. So if you go to, well, obviously you're half Australia. You go to Australia, they're like the mythical status over there, and the same if you go to the Middle East. It's the same over there. But it's just a car that's never really. It's not that we don't get them over here. They're just not got the same kudos over here. I don't think.
Yes, yeah, no, or in Dubai or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they're
Blimey. Yeah.
in the
Definitely.
Middle East. Nice.
So go
Okay,
on
well,
then.
that's
So you read the brief properly then.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I looked at it as 10 years. Uh, what cars? And I guess this is what we've done it with a few of our challenges. We both read the brief slightly in different ways, and there's nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
because people watching might read it in a completely different way again. Um, but so I've picked out examples of cars that that clearly haven't depreciated massively, or in some cases have appreciated a bit in the
Yeah.
in the 10 or so years,
Yeah.
ignoring like you have the obvious ones. Like we all know if you buy like a Porsche GT3 or an ST or not a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
GT4
Yeah. Yeah.
RS, then
Oh.
then you're going to be fairly safe. But the first one is actually a car. All right, I'm going to give you a clue. It's a reasonably priced car. It was when it was new, and it's actually a car that I think Tim Schmee still owns.
Uh, reasonably priced car. It's not
And I
not his
mean,
Focus, Heritage Focus.
yeah, yeah. So
Really?
when they were new, the Heritage Focus was £39,500. Basically, it came as it was. There was no options, or they were all orange. I
Yeah.
can't remember how many they made, but and of course, everything Ped and I are showing today are like speculating prices. They're not. These cars aren't sold. That's what they're advertised for. But I mean, this one's an extremely low mileage one, 77 grand, and it's 7 years old. Yeah, and there's a high mileage one on there for about 68 grand. So they're all trading between 65 and 80 grand. And I
Yeah.
remember Tim saying that people are selling them for 65 grand, no worries. So if you look at that, I mean, that's, what's that, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So that's 40, that's gained, if it sold for that, nearly £40,000. And it's a Ford Focus. So talk about a safe place to put your money. And even if you used your Ford Focus Heritage RS Heritage Edition, you would still be 20 grand, 25 grand in the plus if you used it as a daily with like
Wow.
30,000 miles on it. So, I mean, that's an interesting car because number one, it's a Ford Focus, and no offense to anyone that's got
Yeah.
a Ford Focus because I think they're brilliant cars, but it's not like you don't think, oh, Ford Focus, that's going to hold value. You don't. That's not. But an RS Heritage Edition or any of the RSs, like the Mark
What
II,
what
is
made
holding value.
those particularly special? Were they just did they have like a plaque on them somewhere and a number? Or were they different like suspension or
I can't remember. I think there might. I think the wheels are special, like they're lightweight, and I think there's
yeah.
some tweaks with the suspension and probably a plaque. But off memory, it wasn't like they weren't like touring cars that were registered for the road. It wasn't. It was very very similar to a regular RS, which was still a great car, but it wasn't. Yeah. And I remember at the time because I think the normal RS was 30 grand, and these were 39 and a half, and everyone was like, "What? Like 40 grand for an RS?" But yeah, 7 years on, 7.5 years on, and they've
Wow.
almost doubled in value. So yeah,
Wow.
that's my interpretation and first example of a car that's held value well.
Hey, well, okay, okay. My next one, I'll come back from I'll come back from my poor position because I just thought on the fly. And this is a car that I actually drove just last week.
Okay. I can't keep up with what you drive. Okay.
I know. I,
Do I know?
you'll love it.
Do I know?
You,
No.
you'll love it. I promise you.
Okay.
Let me just put it in the message. So I'm gone to the same recipe, a normal car that holds its money. In fact, these have gone up in money in a big way in the link.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So Mark 7 Golf GTI Clubsport
Oh,
S.
look at that. Yes, I was very
Yeah.
jealous. But that tempts me. 2,000 miles on the clock.
Yeah,
Oh,
£50,000. And I've just had a quick look. They were 35 grand new. They're 2016,
wow.
this car, I think.
Yep, yep. And I
Yeah.
remember at the
And
time
my
people were
mate,
like, what? 35 grand for a Golf? Are you mad? Well, now
yeah.
they're 50.
50 grand now, look. And my mate's one was red. It's only got 9,000 miles on the clock. And it
Yeah.
was magnificent.
Yeah, I bet.
Just,
Oh, that is.
oh. I mean, they are pretty, but they're 310 horsepower,
Yep,
rear seat delete. They only weigh 1,250 kilos.
yep.
Just a wonderful thing. But yeah, look, they've gone up like that's held its money. But
Oh man,
there was only ever 400 of them.
okay.
Yeah. But what I didn't realize until the wonders of YouTube, so that held the Nordschleife lap record
Yep.
for a front wheel drive production car until it was that title was taken away from it by a Civic Type R.
Yep.
But it was our mate Benny Lightning that drove it to set that record.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Um,
That
yeah.
is a timeless, beautiful, because I think that's obviously Mark's
Look at
Mark
it.
7.1.
Mark.
Mark 7, right?
Yeah.
Not the
Look at it, man.
7.5. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
car. It's prettier than the 8 and the
I mean,
8.5.
yeah. I mean, the infotainment system's shocking. I mean, it's even worse than it's all monochromatic and rubbish. But you don't buy it for that.
No.
It's just and it's on. Well, they came with Cut 2s. It doesn't look
They
like
did,
it's
yeah.
on Cut 2s.
Yeah. This one's on
I think
PS4.
this one's a 4Ss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. That's
Just
lovely. Yeah,
just
there you go. So
and
that's appreciated 15. So I'm guessing a leggy one, well, your mate's one's still low mileage, but I'm guessing one with 30, 40,000 miles is probably worth about book value today, worth what it was 10 years ago, 9 years ago when it was new.
And the other thing is, they only ever bought 150 to the UK right-hand drive.
Right. Okay.
So their money's only going to go one way.
Yep.
But actually, when you think about it, that it's very similar recipe to that Heritage Focus you just pulled out.
Yeah. No, very similar. Yeah. So I've just found another one. Oh my God, you got me looking.
Oh
now.
no, this could be really dangerous.
Same spec as the one you just shown us, but it's got 30,000 miles on it, and it's 35 grand. So there you go. That's exactly what I just guessed.
Right, so that's lost no money.
Lost no money, and it's done reasonable miles each year.
Yeah,
5,000 miles a year or something. Oh, geez, that's nice. Oh my goodness, what a special car.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
Very
a dangerous
cool
podcast for today.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, that's lovely. That is really nice. Very nice. Okay, so where do I go from there? Let me just bring. I've got so many windows and screens open. It's unbelievable. So my next one is. Well, unfortunately, I've had to go up. I struggled to find many more in the lower price point. So my next one was actually on that list that you showed us earlier on, Ped, but obviously no one else has seen that.
We'll talk through what the cars are on it in a minute.
Yeah, so my next one is a car that I really don't like, and I think 99% of its owners are absolute bellends.
Hold on, I'm going to guess. Is it a Lamborghini Urethra?
Yeah, it's a Lamborghini anus.
But I know these things hold their money like you wouldn't believe.
This is the cheapest one on Auto Trader, right? There's hundreds of them. It's a
70,000 miles.
70,000 miles. It's got 4D number plates on it, so that just gives you an idea of the sort of person that owned it.
He whacks himself off a lot by the looks of it.
It's just, I mean, it's quite a nice color. I don't know what it is in Lamborghini terms, but it's like a tanzanite blue.
Blue, maybe.
But it's probably got, and I don't know how many owners because it doesn't say, but it's probably got 50,000 owners, and it's the cheapest one, £135,000. And Ped, guess what they were when they were brand new?
Oh,
in 2018, when that was a brand new car.
Probably less than that.
It was 135 grand. 135
no
grand.
No way.
Yeah. So it's 7.5 years old. It's done 70,000 miles, probably ragged to an inch of its life, and it's lost no money. Oh, it's got red interior. Oh my goodness, no wonder it's the cheapest one on the internet. Oh my God, it's got a red steering wheel. Oh my God.
That is hideous.
that is horrible. I'm going to send that to worst spec or whatever it is on Instagram. That's the worst
What's
thing I've
that
ever.
thing hanging from the? What's that thing hanging from the rearview mirror? Look, is it like a sword or something?
I don't know.
Wow.
That sums up a Urus owner.
Yeah.
That they would have left after they spec that. They'd have been like, "Oh, I've nailed
Oh,
the spec of my
it's got
car."
TV in the back.
That is just dreadful. And that, I mean, how is that 135 grand? It's just you'd be out of your mind if you bought that. I mean, I would rather burn. I'd rather go outside and make a bonfire of £50 notes than buy that thing.
Oh,
That's
mate,
just
I
horrible.
one day, I want to see you turn up to car meet in a Lamborghini Urus. That would be so funny.
Look at that steering wheel. Actually makes me feel sick. That is just, oh my God. That is horrible.
But I had heard from a few people that Uruses are they just hold their money like nothing else.
Yeah, yeah.
And but there you go. So what? So instead of buying that for 135 grand, if you really want something like that, go and buy an RSQ8 because
Well,
one of that age would be
yeah.
like probably a third that money.
Well,
I don't know,
yeah,
half
or
that money.
or spend 135 grand and get a brand new RSQ8 Performance. I'm sure you'd almost get one for that.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah,
mean,
true. Yeah.
you would be mad. Yeah, I mean, oh, so yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, well, I know this is all about. This is annoyingly about telling people about cars that haven't depreciated, and this one or Uruses clearly haven't because the whole market. This is the bottom of the market. This
I
horrible.
mean, it
This
shows how many people don't have any taste whatsoever.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is horrible, and it's 130. That's the worst way, ladies and gentlemen. That is the worst way to spend 135,000 pounds. Wow. Okay, I hadn't seen the interior until just then. That's just horrible. Anyway, moving on.
Oh dear. Right. So my last one, I'm gonna get a similar reaction to you, I'm sure. So this car is actually on that list I shared with you as well.
Okay.
Now, it's a car that has in that at the very twilight of its years suddenly gained like a cult status. And what that means is even plain ones that haven't been tampered with are still worth good money, but those that have had some work done on them can be worth ridiculous money. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you a Land Rover Defender 90
Oh my goodness.
for 200 grand.
What? Defender works. Oh my God.
It's gone up. They
What?
put it up 20 grand. They went, oh no, it's not selling at 180 grand. Let's put
Yeah,
it up
let's
for
put it up.
200 grand, shall we? Now, it's by the Chelsea Truck Company. And there are loads and loads. If you go onto Auto Trader, there are and just look at like Defender 90s. And I'm talking about not the new Portaloo shape, the
Yeah,
previous one.
yeah.
If I click on this and just share, this is the I just did a search on Auto Trader for Defenders, and did high to low. If you have a look at that, where am I there?
I still
You
can't
know,
get over. 1 second.
200. It's. I mean, look, I love a Defender. Okay, there's a really cool on that list. There's like an Overfinch one, which is the pickup version, a little 90 wheelbase, short wheelbase pickup, £125,000.
Yeah,
And even ones that, if you go down, there's a lot of there's a lovely heritage one here at 90 grand. So even those, they're still pulling 80, 90,000. There's a twisted one here. Now, I know all of these ones are kind of from companies that have tweaked them and they're really nicely done inside. That's £90,000. This
yeah,
is a Defender that was probably 30 or 40 grand when it was new. And nobody liked them because they drive like shit.
yeah.
For now,
They're just they're
200 grand.
so compromised as a road car, and they put bucket seats in it. I mean, it is what a I mean, but it's from the Chelsea bloody what's it called company,
Yeah.
truck company. So I mean, Look at it. Oh, I can't stop looking at that one. But then there's also have you seen the urban one as well? The
It's
second most expensive urban. There's an urban convertible.
oh yeah.
I
What is that? They
know.
didn't do a convertible. Oh my god.
No, it's a converted. I mean, I thought the worst car in the world was the what's it? Not the Velar convertible. Which one is it? Which is
The Evoque convertible. The
Evoque. I
yeah.
mean, that's the. I thought that was the worst car in the world, but actually, this one, and this is 170 grand as well. 170 grand. I mean,
Wow. Have
people
they
are just.
do they show a picture with the roof up? Because it's gonna look like a Silver Cross pram with a roof up, surely. I
Oh,
mean
it's
that look at the interior.
oh,
What were they
yeah,
thinking?
but that will appeal to some a footballer's wife or something
Yeah,
for that
probably.
stereo or footballer's husband. Sorry, I've got to be 2025. Um, that is that's special. That is, I mean,
So,
there's all right.
so
So buy an old Defender. If you brought an old Defender and then had it fitted out for 25 grand, it's suddenly. I mean, that's such a speculators, but I love the fact that it was
it
180 grand and they put it up 20 grand.
yeah, but it is in a way though. It's not. I don't think it's that dissimilar to what's happened to like air cooled Porsches. In that there's all
No,
of these backdate and resto mod companies that are doing them. So what
yeah,
that means is it trickles down the price of one that you would buy as a donor car to then do a resto mod. All those
yeah,
prices go up. And what you look at with the Defender market when the new
yeah,
Defender came out, and there was such a fan base for the old one.
yeah,
Their values didn't just hold, they went up.
yeah,
And even buying not a great one, they're a lot of money.
yeah,
And like you said, they don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest Defender fan in the world. I think a short wheelbase original Defender is one of the coolest looking cars out there, but they're
yeah,
awful to drive.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, if you put, I do some stuff. There's a brilliant company in Chichester called Squire Editions, and they do like shooting boxes and stuff, and they do beautiful trimming, and they put LS3 engines in the front, and they're mega, mega, mega things. They cost a lot of money, so I get it,
yeah,
but it's a lot of money.
yeah.
So while before, because I know you've got to on to spend time with the other half, I thought
Well,
this finance report.
I've still got my final one.
Oh, you haven't done it. Oh no, sorry,
No,
sorry. I'm
that's all right.
still in shock from your Lamborghini anus.
Anus, yeah.
Yeah.
That's well. So this one, um,
Oh no.
it's a bit. Early on, you mentioned the ST, and we're like, well, that's a bit unrealistic. You know, it's a bit expensive. I mean, this is just another. This is a completely different sort of level, really. Again, um,
Oh, oh yeah, because I was looking at buying one of them last week. A
yeah.
Bugatti Chiron.
Well, you got to hear me out here. If
Hear
you're
me out.
lucky
Hear
enough,
me out.
hear me out. If you're lucky enough to be on the list to get one when they were new 7, 8 years ago, I mean, this one's again, what, 8 years old. So I'm guessing that's probably one of the earlier ones. Beautiful spec. I mean, it's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
I'll describe it as shark blue at the front and black at the back, or that sort.
Yeah.
Anyway, they listed at 2.4 million, and there's not many Chirons for sale online, but this is one of the cheaper ones I found, and it's 2.8 million. But once you add spec, it's probably held value
Yeah.
in those 8 years. But there's probably I'm not a money or a finance advisor. I think there's probably better things that you could have put your £3 million into. But if you did
Crypto.
buy crypto, yeah. But if you did buy a Chiron, you haven't really lost much money. It would have cost you about £1 million to service it during that time.
Well, I
But
was going to say that there's a servicing cost thing going on there.
yep.
Wow.
But yeah. But as we know, I mean, that was a bit of a uh,
No,
tongue-in-cheek car because
but
a lot of
but I
that
guess
sort of level.
in a way though, it opens up a kind of conversation around that hypercar top end supercar market where the I'm sure a lot of them are speculators buying the cars, not car fans. I mean, this car's done 2,200 miles since
Yeah,
2017. What's that's just crime basically.
it is.
They are expensive to keep on the road, servicing, and a service for that's probably 35 grand.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but they do tend to hold their money, and I think they'll either dip. It's a bit like that Carrera GT that was at Boxing Gas. You look at those; they kind of dipped a bit, and nobody wanted them, and then suddenly they become the next big thing, and everyone wants one, and their prices go absolutely dilally.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, interesting. What is it? Is it on? I'm just checking to make sure
Cup
you've.
twos.
Well, it wasn't on the brief, but just to make sure it's got Cup Twos on it. It has, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
What's the rating for? I know it's N rating for Porsche. I wonder what the designator is for Bugatti.
it's probably just a pound sign.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't,
Okay,
oh,
mate. Yeah.
there is a rating on there. It's
It's
hard
got
to
an
see.
X.
Yeah. Something. James is probably listening and watching this, telling us what it is.
Yeah,
But yeah,
shouting down the phone.
yeah, as we know, they are very specific tires for that car. Because what would it
Wow.
do? 350 miles an hour or something? No, not
Yeah.
350.
Well, I think it's limited by the
260 or
tires,
something.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madness.
Wow. Yeah, good choice. Well, that's yeah. So buy your hypercar, or
Yep.
a dog dick red interior Urus. I'm gonna be a good job we filmed this podcast before I've had my lunch.
Oh, that's
Bad,
just
really
that's
bad.
not good.
Um,
No.
let's briefly. So this, I'm just gonna run that. I'm not going to spend lots of
Yep.
time on them, but the 10
Yep.
slowest depreciating cars so far in 2025.
Yep.
Firstly, a Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe. That's because only 2 people bought one because it's ugly.
Yep.
Porsche Macan,
Oh yeah, baby.
especially if it's part of the Crayon crew.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
Dacia Duster. Now
Nice.
that I was going to pull up, I did have a Dacia Duster as a possible car, and
Yep.
that's you think people would think I'm going to buy a Dacia and just lose a truckload of money, and that's just not the case at all. They're well built, they're well priced, and they've got a big following.
Yep.
So yeah, at 3 years and 36,000 miles, you'll have lost just 36% of the car's value.
Amazing.
Land Cruiser, we've done that. Bentley
Yep.
Flying Spur. Oh yeah, obviously there's 911. That's probably a fairly obvious one. They hold their
Yep.
money as well as most, especially I mean, I just still boggles me how much you have to spend for even like a 4 or 5-year-old 911, having just done the search recently.
Yep.
G-Class Mercedes, that can join your Urus for the Taste Awards.
Yep.
Defender, we talked about that. 718 Cayman. I mean,
Yep.
we could have talked about like GT4s and the 718 Boxster and Spider.
Yep.
Because they hold them, having just bought a Spider for probably about the same amount of money that it was originally bought for.
Yep. Yep.
Which is depressing.
Although this article is saying that a GT4 RS that was £128,000 demand and expectation for this driver's car meant that for many months after it was selling considerably over list price. Well, it isn't
not
now.
anymore. Not anymore. And then the Lamborghini Urus.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, so it is it is number one.
Yeah.
I mean, it
doesn't
does
surprise me.
but it kind of boggles my mind as well at the same time, because it's like, if it was a normal Lambo, I kind of get that, like a Gallardo or something, a sports car. But the fact that we all know it's based on, and the funny thing is, obviously that's the same platform that the Cayenne's based on, and Bentley's Bentega's based on, and the Q8 is, and all the rest of it. But and the Touareg and all those cars. But out of all of them, it just doesn't make. Why is that one, when I think the Bentayga is one of the highest depreciating cars in that segment, but yet the Urus isn't, and it's basically the same car with the same engine? It's really bizarre.
I don't know, but the often whenever a brand like a performance brand brings out an SUV, people go, "Well, why are they doing that?"
Yeah,
that, ladies and gentlemen,
is
why
why
they're doing it, because it makes them a load of money.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked before about what the Cayenne and the Macan did for Porsche, what DBX to some extent is doing for Aston Martin, what Urus has done for Lamborghini, and so on and so forth. That's why, because
Yep.
it's their cash cow. It's where they make all
Yep.
their money. Because like you said, it's basically a Q8, but they're selling it for 135 or more probably. What's a brand new Urus now? 170 grand, 180 grand. I
Yeah,
don't know.
if not 200 or something. Yeah, who
Yeah.
knows? Madness.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm now gonna have to kind of basically have to go and have some counselling because of that interior of that Urus.
Oh, yeah, Pat. I hope you've managed to overlay a shot of that because it's worth seeing. We should put like a warning at the start of this podcast.
Yeah. Parental advisory content.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't watch this.
God, what a disgusting car.
Anyway, guys, if you're listening at home and you've got any ideas for car challenges for me and Joe to do, make sure you write the brief properly so that we both follow it, because that normally doesn't happen. And
Do
if
it
you
in
haven't,
big font. Do it in nice big font so Ped can see
I've
it.
got my glasses on, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or give us a follow and a rating on the podcast platform you're listening to, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well. And big shout out to Michelin, again, our title sponsor. Joe, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Go and spend the rest of the day with your beautiful wife-to-be and say hi to Lou,
Yes.
and give Pegs a big cuddle as well.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, same to you.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'll see you soon.
Easy now.